Greetings, nerdlings, and welcome to AmalgamNation presents World of Lorecraft, Herocraft, Darion Mograine edition. On the day of Darion's birth, he was stillborn. His father, in a hurry, rushed the baby to a nearby stream, and from the freezing water, Darion Mograine entered the world. However, the joy his father felt quickly turned to grief as his wife and the mother of his children, Elena, died due to complications from the birth. In a battle within the plagued city of Stratholme, in which young Darien insisted on fighting, he took a serious wound and fell unconscious for a day. Upon wakening, the boy described his experience as being surrounded by darkness before being shown a light that he followed back to life. Following the death of his father, Darien began to question the light before being confronted by the troll priest Zabra Hex. After being counselled by the troll to search out his father in a fortress floating above a burning city, Darien joined the newly formed Order of the Argent Dawn. With a handful of Argent Dawn volunteers and a mysterious mage known as Castilian, Darien infiltrated the fortress of Naxxramas. After besting the lords of the necropolis and losing his entire party to the Four Horsemen, the corrupted Ashbringer came into Darien's possession. The sword's voice led him to the Scarlet Monastery, where, unaware of the actual treachery of his brother Reynold Mograine, Darien was attacked by Reynold, who considered him to be the last link from his past, coming to torture him. The spirit of Alexandros Mograine appeared from the Ashbringer, beheading his traitor son and forgiving him afterward. Realizing that his father's soul was trapped within the Ashbringer, Darien stole a steed from the Scarlet Crusade and ran away. Fairbanks then visited him in a dream, telling him to go and find Turian Fordring. Darien followed the ghost's orders and eventually found Turian, telling him what happened to his father, though only after arguing with the pariah. Afterward, Turian told him of how he was banished. He told Darien that nothing could be done for Alexandros. When mounting his steed, Turian told him that only an act of love greater than the act of evil could free his father's soul. Darien then invited him to join the Argent Dawn, and despite Turian's outright refusal, left the option open by asking him to be a hero. After his meeting with Turian, Darien ventured to Lightsoap Chapel, where he came across a Scourge army waiting to attack. Maxwell Tyrosus, overjoyed at his return, told him about the 1,000 souls of the champions that died defending the capital city from Artus and the Scourge, and were later carried beneath the chapel. Darien took his place in the lines of the Order of the Argent Dawn in defence of the fallen. During the night, he experienced a terrible vision about a world without light, a world where the Scourge were triumphant. In the morning, a call to arms was made to the soldiers as the first battle for Lightsoap began. As the tide began to turn against the Argent Dawn, Turian arrived riding Mirador and managed to save a woman from an abomination as he joined the fray. As it seemed as though the light-blessed soldiers of the Argent Dawn might prevail, Kel'Thuzad himself joined the battle. Understanding that the Lich King's right hand had appeared, Darien charged forward, wielding the corrupted Ashbringer as his father had long ago, and fought his way to Kel'Thuzad himself. The Lich showed no fear, and said that even the Ashbringer was not powerful enough to stop him. At the very same moment, Darien realized what Turian's words meant. Darien, as an act of love, not only for his father, but also for the cause they believed in, plunged Ashbringer through his heart with the words, "I love you, Dad." In response to his noble action, the souls of 1,000 vengeful knights erupted in pillars of light that purged the hills around the chapel of all traces of the Scourge. All that remained were the figures of Kel'Thuzad and the undead figure of Darion Mograine. The corrupted Ashbringer still pierced through his chest. As Kel'Thuzad stood triumphant, he commented on how he was willing to sacrifice his own forces if it meant claiming the last Mograine soul. In an eerily similar fashion, he asked Darien, "Who do you love?" Now lifeless in the service of the same force he swore to eliminate, the newly risen Death Knight answered back, "No one." Sometime later, Darien was made Highlord of the Death Knights of Icarus, an order of Death Knights with the sole purpose of annihilating the remaining living in the Eastern Plaguelands. He also planned and formulated not only the forces of the Eastern Kingdoms, but also the strategy of the forces of Northrend and the would-be assault on Kalimdor. He gave orders to all newly created Death Knights under his authority to aid in the scourging of the Eastern Plague Lands. This was to be done in the name of the Lich King and originate from Icarus, the Ebon Hold. After the crushing of the Scarlet Crusade, the Death Knights of Icarus began preparation for their final assault on Lightsoap Chapel. Highlord Mograine assembled his most worthy and strongest Death Knights to begin the second battle for Lightsoap. There he learned that the Ashbringer would refuse to strike down any foe and refuse to obey his commands. One of his 3 generals then fled, as he was forced to face the tremendous power of Lightsoap Chapel's consecrated ground. As Darien arrived, Highlord Mograine admitted defeat to the superior forces of the combined Silver Hand and Argent Dawn. At that moment his master, the former Prince of Lordaeron, the Lich King, Arthas, appeared. After a confession of guilt from the Lich King, who had admitted he sent the Death Knights to its doom just to bring Turian Fordring out of hiding, Highlord Mograine attempted to attack his master, only to be sent flying. As the Lich King was about to end the Death Knight's life, Darien threw the corrupted Ashbringer to Turian, who in turn was able to purify it and push the Lich King back with the combined forces of the Redeemed Blade and the Sacred Ground. In response to the Lich King's betrayal, Darien now leads the newly freed Death Knights, now known as the Knights of the Ebon Blade, in a campaign to wipe out the forces loyal to the Lich King from Ebon Hold and establish it as a neutral haven for all Death Knights to call home. Darien in Northrend. He can be found initially at the Argent Vanguard in Icecrown discussing tactics with Turian Fordring. After completing the level 80 quest, the last line of defense, he moves to an area in the Valley of Echoes near the Light's Breach. During these events he is known as the Ebon Watcher. Darien appears as himself during the level 78 quest, The Air Stands Still, summoned by the player to fight Under King Talanox in Scourgeholm, and again in the Cathedral of Darkness in the level 80 quest, Tyrion's Gambit, accompanied by Thessarian and Coltera Deathweaver, as well as a group of Ebon Knights. During the level 80 quest, The Fate of Bloodbane, Darien leads a group of Knights of the Ebon Blade in fighting Orbaz Bloodbane and his host of suffering. Turian Fordring and Darion Mograine next appear together in Icecrown Citadel at Light's Hammer, where they lead the Ashen Verdict, a union of the Argent Crusade and the Knights of the Ebon Blade. He is also involved in the creation of Shadowmourne. Should a raid member with the unsealed chest bring Alexandros' soul shard to Darien, he will reunite with his father, the Ashbringer Alexandros Mograine. Alexandros explains that during his time of captivity in Frostmourne, the one memory that allowed him to keep his sanity was Darien's sacrifice. Darien proclaims that for his father he would give his life 1,000 times. Darien in Warlords of Draenor. With the addition of the Warlords of Draenor expansion, Darien can sometimes be found in the Garrison's Inn with a daily quest, thus he has at least made the journey. Darien in World of Warcraft Legion. Mograine can be found within the Death Knight Order Hall, the version of Icarus floating above the Broken Isles. Players turn in their artifact weapon quest to him, and he subsequently promotes them to the rank of Deathlord, instructing his fellow knights to follow the new Deathlord's orders as they would his own. In their Order Hall campaign, the Ebon Blade seeks to bring back the 4 horsemen in order to face the Legion. After raising from the dead Taurus Trollbane, General Nazgrim, and Whitemane, the 3 horsemen, Darien and Deathlord, make their way to Light's Hope as they did once, but this time not to destroy the light, but to save the world from destruction. Their attempt to raise the 4th horseman failed. With the death of Darien as a result, however, the Lich King reveals his will and commands the Deathlord to raise Darien as the 4th. Thank you for watching, and as always remember, play the game and game to play.